What's up everybody, and thank you for joining me for another video. My name is Whack4863, but you can call me Whack. In today's video, I'm going to show you a weapon that you guys should be crafting in the exiled lands. I'm going to show you the best variation of it to craft, but first I'm going to throw some numbers at you. And as you all know, the two weapons that are kind of the standard for what's good in the exiled lands happens to be the Sword of Crom or Yog's Touch. And the Sword of Crom is really a thrall weapon, and Yog's Touch can also be a thrall weapon. So what we're going to do is we're going to test with Beastmaster Tamos. And this particular Beastmaster Tamos is level 0. You could see his stats there on the screen. Really nothing exciting to speak of with this particular Tamos. It's like he just came out of the Wheel of Pain or out of the box and I placed him. Now he does have the armor on that's going to give him additional hit points, but that's not going to matter. I'm just showing you guys what his setup is. What is going to matter is the weapons that I give him. So to start this off, I'm going to give him the Sword of Crom. That way I can show you guys the damage numbers that he's doing when he uses the Sword of Crom. And what I'm going to do is bring in the Unnamed City Brute. I'm going to let him beat on him a couple of times and then admin kill him and swap to some other weapons. Okay, so this is the Unnamed City Brute against the Sword of Crom. So you can see the light was a 162 hit. The downward is a 323, and if we can get him to do a heavy, we'll look at what that is. 194 for the heavy. Now the other combo numbers really don't matter. What we're looking for is the first light hit, the first heavy hit, and then the downward strike. That's what we're going to compare some of these other numbers to. Now this is the Unnamed City Brute against Yog's Touch. So the heavy was 159 and the light was 141. Now that really is all the numbers that we need from Yogg since we don't have a special attack with the axe. So the first thing that I want you to remember is that both of the weapons I've given Beastmaster Tamos so far are legendary drops. Yogg's is pretty easy to get, but the Sword of Crom is pretty difficult. Now the weapon that I've given Beastmaster Tamos is a two-handed sword, and I'm not going to show you what that weapon is just yet. I want to show you the numbers first because I don't want to say the name of it and have any of you get any misconceptions about the weapon and click off the video before you see the actual numbers. And I'm going to put the damage numbers for the Sword of Crom on the screen so that you could see how much damage that was doing with a light, a heavy, and a downward attack. Alright, and here we go with the Brute and the weapon that we're using. Now, the light hit was 150 there. The heavy hit was 179. And all we're going to look for is the downward strike. We want to see that downward strike, and then we'll have all three numbers that we need. What I can tell you is that this is actually only about 7.5 to 8% less damage than you're doing with the Sword of Crom, or that this thrall was doing with the Sword of Crom. And all of these weapons had the master weapon fitting on them. And there it is, 299 hit points with this weapon. So some of you have probably already figured out just by looking at the weapon what it actually is, but I'm going to show you what it actually is. So this is Sorrow, and let's go over the numbers for this particular weapon with the way that I crafted it. It has 87 damage and 39% armor pen. Now, if we take that and we compare this weapon with the Sword of Crom, the Sword of Crom has 96 damage and 34% armor pen with a master weapon fitting on it, compared to Sorrow, which again is a craftable weapon with 87 damage and 39% armor pen, meaning Sorrow craftable is really one of the best, or is the best, two-handed sword that you can get in Conan Exiles right now. It's at least the best craftable you can get. So let's go over how I built this. What I've got here is all of the Sorrows that I crafted with each individual blacksmith and then all the different attachments. So let's go over just the base numbers with the blacksmith. If you use an edge smith, here's what you end up with. You end up with 71 damage and 32% armor pen. You can then choose what different attachment you may want to put on that weapon. If you use the temper smith, you get 75 damage and 29% armor pen. You get a lot more durability, but that probably doesn't matter if you're going to hand this to a thrall. And then again, put whichever one of those you want on it. If you use the bladesmith, however, you get 82 damage and 27% armor pen. And the one that I tested that did the best was the Telesaro with the master weapon fitting. Did the most damage to the most different targets. Now I'm talking about heavily armored targets to lightly armored targets. This one did the most damage out of all of the different ones that I tested. So if you don't have a whole bunch of Kinscourge hearts already sitting around your base, it's probably about time you go up and get them. However, you'll probably bump into a whole lot of other people that have watched this video and ran up there to get them as well. That's just the way it goes when I bring you guys information like this. So hopefully you've got a bladesmith lying around your base and you can get your hands on a Kinscourge heart and make your own Telesaro. And I want to know in the comment section below, have you guys run across any crazy weapons like this? I've got another one up my sleeve that I will probably let you guys know about in a future upload. Now, for those of you that may not be familiar where to actually get the recipe or the heart that I was talking about earlier in the video, what you need to do is actually come right up here on the map. We're actually headed to the Black Keep. Now, I'm not going to give you a full dungeon guide in this video, but I will show you the basics on where you want to get to, and then you can go through the dungeon and get this armor. So just come out here to this area. You're going to want to run all the way up these stairs. It's quite a ways. It's a lot of stairs. There are no stairmasters in the Exiled Lands, but there are plenty of stairs for you to get your exercise on. So here we go, the last set of stairs. We're just going to run up this and continue to run straight in and in through the door. Now this is a hostile area. I am cloaked and in God mode. I am cheating, but you will need to find your way through here. All right, now once you've made it through the dungeon, you will have to kill this boss right here. He has 7,219 hit points. Once you've killed him, make sure you harvest his body in order to get the heart that you need. These tablets that are spread across the room, you only need to interact with one, but you learn the Silent Legion armor as well as Telesaro and Teles Lament, and there are 5 of these tablets. You only need to interact with one of the tablets to learn the recipes. But for now, that's all I have for this video, but the fun doesn't have to stop here. You can click one of the other videos coming up on the screen to watch next. I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed making it. I'll catch you next time. Peace. I'd like to give a big shout out to all my YouTube members. Y'all are absolute legends. If you'd like to become a legend, there's a button below that says join. That'll give you all the details. I'd like to thank all my subscribers for their continued support, likes, comments, and general awesomeness. If you're not subscribed, you can start your free trial today and cancel at any time. Clicking the bell is highly recommended so you get notified when I upload another video.